What's going on, everybody? Well, let's talk Lunar Classic. Some dark days may be in front of us, or are we going to see a market reversal? Now, the rest of the cryptocurrency market down about 3.5%. Lunar Classic equally down a significant chunk. Are we about to gain a zero? What do we need to look at? And ultimately, what does the future look like for Terra Lunar Classic? All of that in this video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date, and let's get straight into it. Now, Terra Lunar Classic, currently the 69th highest ranked cryptocurrency out there. You can see the price 1077, 5.5% down on the day, is absolutely outtrending. Bitcoin down 1.99 versus Bitcoin, about $49 million in volume, and our market cap as low as we have been for a while at $635 million. Now, circulating supply at 5.9 trillion lunk from a total supply though of 6.8 trillion. So we have actually come down nearly a trillion Lunar Classic in the course of, the best part of a year. But like right now, the market is really bleeding, and Terra Lunar Classic is no exception to that. We've had a number of things happen over the course of the last couple of months, and ultimately it is absolutely having a detriment to Lunar Classic. But is all hope lost? Well, that's the big question on everyone's mind. What have we got coming up, and what is it all about? So let's take a look at some interesting proposals that are coming up. Remember, Terra Lunar Classic is a decentralized blockchain. We are one of the cheapest blockchains, one of the fastest blockchains, but ultimately we don't have a lot of users. We don't have a lot of volume running through the network, and that's something we have to change. How do you do that? Well, you fund the building of projects on the Lunar Classic ecosystem. What we tend to do is spend money, but not really get any paybacks. There's a couple of interesting proposals put out there. So this one is put out there by you'll see here by Matt Market, again, a fellow YouTuber and a good advocate for Terra Lunar Classic. And this talks about the anti-handler split to a 50-50 ratio. What does that mean? Well, ultimately it's going to secure funding for both the layer 1 and layer 2 development, and it ultimately then moves some from the burn mechanism into funding. Now, the debate is whether 50-50 is the right appropriate number. At the minute, we're about 90-10. 90% goes to burn, 10% goes to the community wallet. But if we are serious about building out on the Terra Lunar Classic blockchain and ultimately onboarding different projects and dApps, then this is something we really need to consider. So the full article is here where Matt talks about exactly what's coming. You can see there, but we talk about the concept of anti-handler transaction tax was proposed to create. The original intention was to have a 50-50 split. 50% of the funds directed to the community pool, 50% to be burned. Again, just to be absolutely crystal clear with this is not about reminting anything. This is purely about how do we bolster the community pool to therefore fund further development. It says the split was carefully calculated, considered to support the development and growth of the blockchain community. However, the current split stands at 10%, 10-90, with 10% going to the community pool, 90% being burnt. And this has absolutely divided the view of a lot of people in the community as to whether we should be doing this. Obviously, our past experience with the community pool hasn't been that great. We've forked out probably getting on for nearly $500,000 out of the community pool. And ultimately, we can see on the technical chart, the price has just continued to come down. So there is obviously nervousness around this. But you know what the old saying in cryptocurrency is? You've got to spend money to make money, and scared money doesn't make money. But here we go. It says increasing the anti-handler TA split to 50-50 can bring several benefits to the community and the blockchain ecosystem. First and foremost, it would significantly boost the funding available for the community pool. A 50% allocation to the community pool would provide a substantial and predictable funding stream that can be utilized to support a wide range of community-driven initiatives. Now, why is this important? We also had Binance a while ago tweeting out about, tweeting the Lunar Classic community about their funding that they have for people to build on blockchains, their kind of early support mechanism that they have. And actually CZ himself recommended that Lunar Classic developers look to that fund to support what they wanted to do. So another crucial aspect of the potential allocate a significant portion of the increasing funds to onboarding layer 2 solutions. Layer 2 solutions are gaining popularity due to their scalability and cost-effective transactions for decentralized applications. However, onboarding dApps for L2 often requires additional resources and support, including funding. And again, this 50% could bolster our community pool. Now, if we take a look at the community pool currently for Lunar Classic, you see this big sell-off here where we funded the L1 team for a further 3 months. And currently we sit right now with just about 1.13 billion Lunar Classic sat within our pool. Now you can see there's a significant chunk of USTC in there. So the funding is, it's kind of in there, but we obviously want to see this bolstering and push this up a little bit more. It says, disclaimer, by voting yes on the proposal, you are agreeing to only raise the anti-handler split to 50-50 and leave the burn tax at the current rate to 0.2%. So this isn't about changing the burn tax. This is purely about changing the funding and where the funding goes in order to build out. Now, naturally, you have a real divide. So you have some people that absolutely are not about this, some people that kind of question why and what it's going to be a benefit from, and some people that ultimately want to do this. I think with anything right now, and I don't speak on behalf of all the community, I can only speak as an investor myself, but my view right now is this funding that we are putting out, I want to see some benefit. I either want to see an increase in burn tax, in burn amount, or I want to see something that's going to push the price. I want to see something. If I've invested, or we've invested as a community, $500,000 into the build out of this, as an average investor, what has that money been spent on? Now, you can tell me that we've upgraded anti-handlers and all this kind of other stuff. I am not a technical investor. And what does crypto thrive on? New investors, investors that want to come, hold and build, or even just sit there and watch some price increases. Now, obviously, if we all knew that the price was going to increase, it would be a great benefit to invest. However, there's an important part here where if we see something based upon a development that one of our teams have done, then it can only be a benefit. And I do genuinely believe that we would see a flood back into Terra Luna Classic once we can see a positive move in either price or burn amount. I think that's very, very important. Now, one of the other proposals that's come out is we are going to fund the Rebel Station infrastructure for 3 months. You can see we've passed the threshold down here, which was required at 46% on the yes vote. Now, if you're asking what that is, it's about $39,000 in the upkeep of the Terra Rebels and the Terra Classic nodes, etc. And you can see the breakdown here. I did a video on this the other day, as well as funding 3 developers. So not only do we now potentially have the L1 team that we're paying about 130k to, we're now funding the Terra Rebels for some of their build out and some of their running costs and ongoing support. So here's my view, and it's my view alone. We currently sit with 2 teams that are working on one blockchain. We have to see some movement in the price. We have to see some movement in the burn amounts, or we see build outs upon our blockchain. There is no point spending this money if it is not doing anything. We'd almost be better off burning that, as it would remove supply. And ultimately, that's one of the big things that we need to do. Now, if we take a look at some of the statistics in terms of what's going on, we are still seeing people stake with us. 13.92, 490 million Luna Classic is staked. We still endeavor to get to that 1 trillion Terra Luna Classic staked. Again, how can we build out to support this? How can we make more people stake on Luna Classic? Terra, the original, was about 60% staked, which took a vast amount out of the circulating supply. Obviously, it benefited through the rewards, which all has to work in harmony to ensure the longevity of our blockchain. So there's a lot to think about, a lot to talk about right now. We are absolutely at a crossroads, if you ask me, for Terra Luna Classic. Which way are we going to go? What is the right direction? Well, we've 2 teams that ultimately are setting out to both support the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem and to try and make something work, whether that be for burns, whether that be for builds, whether that be for price action, but it has to be something. There has to be a point in which people restore their absolute ambition and faith within the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem and fundamentally build out. There's been a lot of bad actors in this space. There's been a lot of bad actors on this blockchain. Time is now ours to really go make a difference and hold some of these teams to account and see what happens. I hope we don't gain a zero. I really don't hope we don't get a zero. I think it wouldn't be a great thing if we do. However, if the market still continues to push down, then it's maybe something we need to just be mindful of. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? What's your opinion right now on the state of Terra Luna Classic? I'm very interested to know how you all feel about it. But as ever, thank you so much. And if you've made it to the end of the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want Terra Luna Classic updates, as well as Jasmine, Shiba Inu, and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.